Hello and welcome to another episode of Season 8 of the Lawyers Learning Center with DHIA podcast. This season, we will be talking all about today's cyber exposures, cyber liability, and protecting your law firm against cyber threats. Tune in every Thursday and check out the description for more related resources. Today, we are going over what a cybersecurity breach is, what it could mean for your law firm, and how you can prepare to protect your data and the data of your clients. Let's dive in. What is a cybersecurity breach? A cybersecurity breach occurs when an unauthorized party gains access to sensitive or confidential information. There are so many types of breaches and threats out there. There are data breaches, ransomware attacks, phishing, social engineering, denial of service and distributed denial of service attacks, and many more. Some of the common causes of security breaches are weak passwords, software vulnerabilities, lack of security updates, and above all, human error. What do you have to lose in a cybersecurity breach? Well, let's first make it clear that if you own a business, you are a target. It's fatal to think you're immune to cybercriminals. A cybersecurity breach can cause financial losses, reputational damage, operational disruptions, data theft and privacy violations, intellectual property theft, and so on. According to an article from Forbes Advisor, there has been a 72% increase in data breaches since 2021. That is a huge increase that is expected to keep rising. Then you have the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, who reported that more than 880,000 complaints were made in 2023 by cybercrime victims in the U.S. alone. The reported losses totaled over $12.5 billion with a B, which is a 22% increase from 2022. We can share more. You can hear all the statistics, but many think the worst won't happen to them. But the basic facts are no one is immune, everyone is a potential target, and the losses are unbelievable. Let's talk a little bit about the number one reason for cybersecurity breaches, which is human error. Combating human error boils down to education and training. In the rush of daily tasks, it is so easy to erroneously click a link that opens a malicious virus. Educating yourself and your team on the red flags and warning signs can help prompt someone to take a second look or seek confirmation from another team member on the legitimacy of the email. Whether it's just you or a large staffed law firm, annual training is critical. Biannual training isn't a bad idea either. Cyber criminals get more creative and vicious every year. Knowing the lurking risks out there and learning how to identify and combat them will be your business's greatest defense. What is the most common way to protect data? Passwords. Passwords are the locks to your data. A weak password is like a weak lock on your front door. Bulk up your password with these tips. Have an 8-character minimum. 16 characters, even better. Avoid complete words or phrases, such as password 72 or law firm 11. Contain uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols in one password. When changing passwords, make them significantly different. There are some suggestions out there for using what's known as a passphrase password. This is a memorable phrase of 4 to 7 unrelated words as your password, such as duck, yellow jacket, ocean, sleep. That would be your password. Or run, red, horse, hat, summer, flying saucer. You can do it with and without spaces. Many sites will still require a number and a symbol. In this case, it may be best to place them randomly throughout your passphrase. Whichever style of password you decide, the key is to create a long and unique password. And different passwords for different things. Don't use one password for everything. Then reinforce your strong password with a multi-factor authentication method, also known as an MFA. MFA methods require a second authentication. So even if a hacker knows your password, your MFA will restrict their access. Common MFA methods include text or email. So you would log into your account with your password, and then you would be prompted for your second authentication, which would be either texted or emailed to you, and it will have a unique time-sensitive code that you would then enter to gain access to your account. And if you don't want to keep all of your complex passwords in a file or attempt to memorize them all, you may want to consider a password manager. There are so many options out there, paid and free. Another risk mitigation strategy is software updates. Update your software even if you don't want the new features. Like we chatted about last week, updates come with so much more than new features. They come with security patches and bug fixes. Keeping your software up to date is primarily about fortifying your defense against cybersecurity threats. 3 letters. VPN. A VPN is a virtual private network. If you are on an open network, you should be using a VPN. Using public Wi-Fi is convenient, but all your traffic and activities are exposed. A virtual private network protects what you're doing and keeps your presence invisible to prying eyes. Without a VPN, your sensitive information is visible to those seeking to snatch it up. Not just your personal information, but all the information you may be accessing. This kind of circles back to passwords, but it's wise to have your devices guarded with a passcode lock. If your device is lost or stolen, this password will be your first defense against a criminal of any nature. And this passcode may just give you enough time to completely restrict that device from access to anything that's sensitive or confidential. Those are 3 simple and actionable steps that you can take today to help prepare your law firm for a cybersecurity breach. Here are some more practices and tactics you can take to protect your law firm. Inventory your datasets and identify locations of sensitive information. Limit privileged access to employees. Not every employee should have access to everything you have access to. Patch your networks and systems. Secure a network perimeter. Implement endpoint security controls. And encrypt your data, whether your data is at rest in one spot or on the move being sent somewhere. Encrypt it all. It's also a great idea to create a cybersecurity playbook with standard operating procedures, security policies, and tools as you go about this. A playbook will be a great resource for new hires or just anyone who has questions. Cybercriminals are creative and focused. Every business is a target. And law firms are desirable targets due to the sensitive client data collected. The firm size becomes irrelevant when a cybercriminal sees the lucrative, sensitive, and confidential data being held right within their reach. We have a worksheet to help guide you through a cyber liability risk assessment. The link to download it will be in the description. You can also tune in to Season 8, Episode 1 to go through the worksheet together. This self-assessment was designed to help law firms gain clarity on their exposures, the financial cost of those exposures, and how they can mitigate those risks. Understand the horrors out there. Do your research, know your risks, and plan to be proactive to protect your firm's data and your clients' data. Thank you for tuning in to the Lawyers Learning Center with DHIA podcast. We are so glad you're here with us and hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, we invite you to subscribe to the podcast and share the episode with someone you think could benefit from it. Please leave your thoughts or questions in the comments. Help us improve and better serve you. Subscribe to the podcast or sign up for email reminders to make sure you catch every episode.